Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Robert Young starring as Jim Anderson in the radio version of Father Knows Best. This episode about the Father's Day picnic was originally broadcast June 14th, 1951.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Maxwell House, the coffee that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee at any price. Maxwell House, always good to the last drop. A father's a pitiful fellow, browbeaten, maligned, and oppressed. But on Sunday, his mood will be mellow. It's the one day when Father knows best. That's right, neighbors. This coming Sunday is Father's Day. And in Springfield, it's going to be quite an event. The white frame house on Maple Street is bustling with activity. And as Jim Anderson steps through the front door, we can't be quite certain as to whether or not he approves. But we'll find out, won't we?
Margaret, Hey, what's going on here?
Jim, what are you doing home?
Well, I just thought...
You aren't supposed to be home until 6 o'clock.
I know, honey, but there wasn't anything doing at the office, and I figured... What's going on in the living room? A hog callers convention?
Why don't you go for a walk or something?
I don't want to go for a walk.
Why don't you run down to the
I
drugstore?
don't want to run any place. I just want to sit. Now, will you please tell me why the living room sounds like a weasel got into the hen house?
What?
What is going on in the living room?
Oh, well, it's a surprise.
Honey, not again.
Well, it isn't exactly a surprise, but... Oh, Jim Anderson, one way or another, you always manage to spoil everything.
What did I spoil now?
That's the Food and Refreshment Committee for the Father's Day outing.
All right, I didn't... Wait a minute, there must be a dozen women in there.
There are only 8.
That's the committee.
For food and refreshments.
But the whole outing was supposed to be for 5 or 6 families. What happened?
Well, it grew.
Honey, I said I didn't mind going on a picnic with people like the Hathaways and the Woodies, but if you think I'm going to spend Father's Day, how many are there going to be?
Well, Norman and Harriet Franklin said they weren't sure, and Jane Overton said she'd have to ask
Margaret,
Henry...
how many people are there going to be?
Including the children?
Including everybody.
212.
212 people?
That's without the Franklins and the Overtons.
How did it get to be 212?
Well, Lucille Hathaway told a few of her friends, and Dorothy Woody told a few of hers.
And they told a few of theirs.
Then, of course, when we got the boys' club to join...
You got the boys' club for Father's Day?
Isn't it wonderful? We're making it a Father and Son's Day.
Honey, why don't you just give me a necktie?
Everyone thinks it's a brilliant idea, and they're talking about it all over Springfield. It's going so well.
The operation was a success, but the patient died.
What, dear?
Nothing, honey. I was just, I think I'll go into the den and lie down.
Oh, no, you can't.
What?
The contest committee's in there.
The contest committee?
Well, they have to think up all sorts of stunts and games. It's really quite important.
Stunts and games.
You're going to have a wonderful time, dear. I know it.
Yes. I'd better go upstairs and lie down for a while.
That's a good boy. Oh, Jim, don't go into our room. I've turned that over to the Transportation Committee.
Yes, dear. I'll be sure not to go into our room. Father's Day. The best thing they could do with fathers on Father's Day is leave them alone. Stunts and games.
Hi, Father. What are you doing home?
That's the second time I've been asked that. What's so unusual about my coming home? I come home all the time.
Pardon me, I was only trying to be pleasant.
Man comes into his own home, and what happens? He can't get into the den. He can't get into the living room. He can't get into his own bedroom.
You can't go into Bud's room, Father.
Now, see here, Betty.
But it's all full of hats and coats.
Oh.
So's my room. That's why I have to study out here.
Well, it could be worse, I guess. Right now, I can't think how, but I suppose it could.
Going downstairs, Father?
No, I'm trying to set a new record for the indoor ski jump. Tally-ho!
Creepers.
Am I going downstairs? What did she think I was doing? Deep sea diving? Am I going downstairs?
Hiya, Dad. What are you doing home?
Well, never mind. What are those?
These? Oh, they're tickets.
I see. You wouldn't care to confide in me a little further, would you?
Huh?
What are the tickets for?
They're for the picnic. You owe $6.25.
For the Father's Day picnic?
Sure.
I'm being taken to a Father's Day picnic, but I have to pay $6.25. What for?
5 tickets.
But let me put it another way. We're taking our own lunch, right?
Right.
There's no charge for the picnic grounds, right?
Right.
Then who gets the $6.25?
Didn't I tell you about that? It gets split up.
I see.
Part of it goes to the boys' club.
And the rest?
The rest of it goes to the boys.
Well, that's nice. It's what I'd call a very neat arrangement.
Oh, holy cow, Dad. We had to have some reason for going.
Hi, Daddy.
So help me if she says one word.
What are you doing home?
I'm going down to the basement.
You can't, Dad. It's full of women.
If your mother... They're in the basement, too?
They're practically crawling out of the woodwork.
I don't know. Women can be so wonderful. Why do there have to be so many of them?
I know a good place to hide.
Nobody said anything about hiding. This is as much my home as it is anyone else's. And if they think... Where?
In back of the garage. You can't even hear them out there.
In other words, you are suggesting that I run away.
Yeah, like a coward.
Well, I was only trying to help.
Kitten, you know what Voltaire said, don't you?
I do?
The coward flees in vain. Right, Bud?
Yes, sir. That's what he said.
But on the other hand, I remember another quotation which says, "'Tis not too late tomorrow to be brave."
Where you going, Dad?
Out and back of the garage.
Hello, Jim. What's the good word?
Oh, hello, Sam. How go the homegrown radishes and tomatoes?
I don't know yet. The bugs haven't left one big enough to eat.
Mr. Woody.
Hello, Kathy. Bud.
Hi, Mr. Woody.
We're hiding.
Kathy.
Well, you said...
We just came out to get a little fresh air, that's all. Sure is a beautiful day, isn't it, Sam?
House full of women, huh?
They're hanging from the chandeliers.
They are? I didn't see anybody.
Keep quiet, will ya?
Daddy said... Oh, another joke, huh?
Mr. Woody, if you haven't bought your tickets for the Father's Day picnic...
Leave Mr. Woody alone, Bud.
But if he's going to buy tickets anyway...
It's all right, Jim. If I'm going to be hooked, it might as well be by Bud.
Well...
It's for a very worthy cause, Mr. Woody. And besides, they're giving away all kinds of junk. I mean, prizes.
Say, Dorothy was telling me about some of those prizes, and they aren't bad.
That'll be $3.75, Mr. Woody.
Just a second, Bud. Prizes for what?
The various contests, three-legged races, sack races, the usual things.
I wouldn't be caught dead in a sack race. Or a three-legged race, either.
Mrs. Phillips says they're not going to have a three-legged race.
I thought they were.
Well, Mrs. Phillips said she doesn't think there'll be enough people there with 3 legs.
Well, that's logical. For her.
Mr. Woody, if you'd like to give me the $3.75 now...
You know, Jim, you might change your mind if you saw some of those prizes. They promoted a 16-millimeter camera and projector.
That's nice promoting.
They're going to have a wheelbarrow race, and the prize is 6 dozen golf balls.
Mr. Woody, if you'd like to give me...
Wait a minute. Is she on the level, Sam?
That's right. I told you they'd gone all out.
But 6 dozen golf balls?
You ought to see the prize they've got for the egg race. 4 of the most beautiful matched woods you ever saw.
You're kidding.
Mr. Woody, if you'd like...
Not bad, huh?
Matched woods. You know, maybe I'm going to like this picnic after all.
Mr. Woody...
The only thing I don't like about it are those cockeyed contests. Why don't they have a drawing and get it over with? I'll be dead after the first race.
That's exactly what I told Dorothy. I said it wasn't fair to you and some of the other older men.
Get out there and... What was that?
If they want to hand me the prizes, I don't mind, but I think they ought to give somebody else a chance.
What was that crack about older men?
Mr. Woody...
Bud, will you please keep still?
Holy cow.
You and I are the same age, and you know it. Where do you get that older man stuff?
Jim, you were 40 in February.
So what?
I wasn't 40 until May.
Oh, great.
And besides, I've kept in condition. I haven't got soft and flabby.
Who's soft and flabby?
Well, you said...
I'm in just as good condition right now as you were the best day in your life.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, we'll find that out on Sunday, won't we?
We certainly will. Bud and I will make you and that half-pint son of yours look like change from a $2 bill. Won't we, Bud?
All I want is $3.75.
And what's more, I'll just make a little side bet with you on every race we enter.
That's a deal.
$50 a race.
You've got it. Well, I'll see you Sunday.
Not if I can help it. I'll be so far ahead you won't see anything but dust.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so. Thinks he's so wonderful. You and the other older men.
Dad.
We're going to spend the next 2 days training. That's what we're going to do. We'll be in such wonderful condition, he won't know what happened to him.
Dad.
I can help you train, Daddy. I know where I can borrow a stopwatch.
Tell me he's younger than I am.
Dad.
I can run circles around him without even trying.
Are you going to run in circles?
Him and his radishes. Thinks he's so wonderful because he's got a few puny radishes.
Dad.
Bud, what's the matter with you?
You're standing on my foot.
June 14th, 1951, Father Knows Best on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Father Knows Best starring Robert Young, June 14th, 1951.
The feathers in a lady's fan are not so frail as mortal man. That may be true, of course, but not so far as the Andersons are concerned. With the Father's Day picnic less than 24 hours away, the Andersons, father and son, are working like little beavers to achieve a veritable peak of physical perfection. And they spare nothing in their effort. Like this.
Up, 2, 3, down. Up, 2, 3, down.
That's 100, Daddy.
Already? Okay, Bud, that's enough.
Boy, am I tired.
Tired? Why, we're only just beginning. What's next on the list, Kathy?
Push-ups.
All right, Bud, let's try 40 or 50 push-ups. Are you ready?
40 or 50? Holy cow, Dad, have a heart.
Well, we'll try 25 for a start. Ready?
I suppose so.
Here we go. 1, 2. Up, down.
Daddy.
Not now, kid. 1, 2.
But I want to ask you something.
Hold it a second, Bud. What is it, Kathy?
Did the Army really make you promise you wouldn't do setting up exercises?
Well, it's sort of private agreement I have with General Eisenhower. He doesn't sell any insurance, and I don't do any setting up exercises.
Golly, General Eisenhower.
Where did we leave off, Bud?
I don't know, Dad, but can I please rest for a while? I'm dead.
All right, son, we'll take it easy for a few minutes.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what's gotten into this new generation. Why, when I was a boy, I thought nothing of doing 100 push-ups.
I don't think much of it myself.
Daddy,
Yes, baby?
is lying in a hammock really good exercise?
Oh, it's the best. It strengthens the back muscles. Why, I once knew an Olympic champion, and he did all of his training lying in a hammock.
Gosh.
Dad, I've got a great idea. Why don't we strengthen my back muscles for a while? I'll take the hammock
We're doing fine just the way we are, Bud. Kathy, how would you like to run into the house like a good girl and see if your mother has any more iced coffee?
Okay, Daddy.
Jim!
Hold it, kitten. We're out here, Margaret.
Jim, I had a dozen eggs in the pantry and they're gone. Do you know what happened to them?
Bud, get those eggshells into the garage before your mother... What kind of eggs, honey?
You know very well what kind of eggs. They were right on the second shelf and the... Bud, what are you doing?
Doing?
What are you hiding?
Hiding?
Bud, stop gawking at me and say something.
Hi, Mom.
Jim.
Now, wait a minute, honey. What difference do a few eggs make? After all, if we're going to win the egg race...
My eggs. You've broken every single one of my eggs.
One of them's only cracked a little, Mommy.
A whole dozen eggs.
But we've got it down to a system, Margaret. Bud and I can run the egg course in 23 seconds. Can't we, Kathy?
They sure can, Mommy. And Mr. Woody and Jimmy took 31.
Come on, Bud. Let's show your mother how we do it.
With what?
Oh. Well, as soon as we get some more eggs...
Mother!
You'll do no more practicing with my eggs.
Honey, I'll get you 2 dozen eggs. I'll get you a whole chicken.
Mother, do you know what that horrible Billy Smith did?
Betty, I'm talking to your father.
It's all right, Margaret. I'm in no hurry.
I'll never speak to that little monster again as long as I live.
Dear, I'm sure that whatever it is...
But you don't know what he did. He just called me and broke our date for tonight.
Well, he probably has a very good reason. Jim...
He hasn't any reason at all. What difference does it make if he is in training? He had a date with me.
Wait a minute, Betty. He's in training for what?
Father, the whole thing is your fault. If you hadn't started this silly business with Mr. Woody...
You mean he's in training for the picnic?
Everybody's in training for the picnic. Every man in the whole neighborhood is running around with an egg on a spoon.
Well, of all the dirty double-crossing...
I don't care if it is Father's Day. Billy doesn't have any right...
Bud, we've got to start training.
We've got to start.
We're going to show those 2 timing...
I haven't done anything but train for 2 days.
That doesn't count. We'll start from the very beginning.
Oh, no.
Jim, this whole thing is ridiculous.
It's no such thing. Anytime they think they can put one over on Jim Anderson, well, they've got another thing coming. Bud?
Yes, sir.
Let's hit the road.
What?
We've had enough setting up exercises.
We have?
We're going to concentrate on road work. We're going to run those other guys right off the map.
But, Daddy, you can't.
Why can't I?
You promised General Eisenhower.
Bud?
Yes, Dad?
Are you all right?
Oh, sure, Dad. I'm fine.
You, don't want to overdo it, you know.
No.
After all, you're just a boy. You haven't the endurance of, older men. You, sure you wouldn't like to stop for a while?
Gosh, no. We've only run about a mile.
Yes. Well, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bud,
how you doing, Dad?
We've got to stop. I can't run another step.
Holy cow, Dad. After only 3 miles?
I wouldn't run another step if my life depended on it.
Okay, but good grief, we don't anymore get started.
Hiya, Jim. Hello, Hector. Doing a little road work, huh?
This is the life, isn't it, Jim? Out in the fresh air and the sunshine, and boy, do I feel good. I'll bet I can run another 5 miles.
You've run 5 miles?
Like it was nothing. Well, I better keep going. See you later, pal!
Okay, Hank. Let's go, bud.
But you said...
I said let's go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But...
You don't want to stop again.
No, I don't want to stop again. I'd like to run another 75 or 80 miles.
Well?
Find me another pair of legs and I'll be glad to.
Dad, you're not going to give up now, are you?
For your information, I gave up an hour ago. I just didn't have the strength to get the news down to my feet.
Gosh. Uh-oh, here comes Mr. Woody.
Well, look at this old man Anderson. Everything under control, Jim?
Couldn't be better.
That's what I like to hear. Well, see you at the picnic. Don't make it run too far, Bud.
Okay, Mr. Woody.
All right, Bud.
What?
Let's go.
Oy, what a mess. Robert Young, Father Knows Best, as it was originally broadcast June 14th, 1951. An episode of Claudia straight ahead as well, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues. But first, some very important messages you need to hear from your favorite radio station.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young, and the Father's Day Picnic, as it was originally broadcast June 14th, 1951.
I can't, Bud. I just can't. Hi there, Jim. Let's go, Bud.
Hi, Jim!
I can't, Margaret. I couldn't get out of bed if you gave me $1 million.
But, Jim, this is Father's Day.
I don't care whose day it is. Just let me lie here in peace.
Is it really that bad?
Honey, right now I've got 3 times as many muscles as anybody else in the world. And every one of them has a toothache.
Poor Bud.
Poor Bud. How about me? I'm the one who's dying.
But he's been counting on it so.
Well, I'll make it up to him. Some way.
Jim, are you sure you can't make it?
Margaret, I've never been so sure of anything in my life. I can't even turn my head. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure I've got a head.
All right, dear. I'll just have to explain to the children, that's all.
I'm not worried about the children. Sam Woody's the guy I'm worried about. He'll never let me forget it.
Of course he will. Sam's a very nice man and very broad-minded.
Broad-minded? He's so narrow-minded he can look through a keyhole with both eyes.
That isn't so.
No? Well, you just wait. 10 years from now, he'll still be talking about the time he ran me out of the picnic. And if you think...
Mom! Hey, Mom!
I'm in the bedroom, dear.
Mom, they're making an announcement about the picnic over the radio.
Oh? Well, we'd better turn it on.
I'll fix it.
Turn it on gently, Bud. And stop jiggling the floor.
I wasn't jiggling the floor.
Every time somebody moves, I discover a new ache.
What's the matter, Dad? Don't you feel well?
I not only do not feel well, I am slowly disintegrating.
Hold it, Dad. Here it comes.
All this fuss about a
In
silly
the largest Father's Day picnic in the history of Springfield. Now, the news most of you have been waiting to hear. The transportation problem has finally been solved. A fleet of Bluebird buses has been chartered by... What? One moment, please. Is this on the level? What do I do? Just read it? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been handed an important bulletin which I should like to read. Due to a mysterious epidemic of unknown origin, over 100 fathers in the Springfield area have suddenly been confined to their beds. As a result, the picnic... What? Oh? Ladies and gentlemen, the picnic has not been canceled, but will instead be known as the Mother and Child outing. A fleet of Bluebird buses...
Happy Father's Day.
It's dinner time now, and the Andersons are gathered about the festive board. And a festive board it is indeed. There's a special roast for Father's Day. Chocolate pie with thick whipped cream for Father's Day. And best of all, a surprise for Father's Day. Like this.
Go on, Mom. Tell him.
Bud, please.
Mother, if you don't, we will.
Betty, really?
Mommy, if you don't tell him, I'm going to burst.
Well, all right. Bud, why don't you get it?
Okay, Mom. It won't take 2 seconds.
Jim?
Yes, dear?
We have a little surprise for you.
That's nice.
And we hope very sincerely that you'll get a great deal of pleasure out of it.
I know, it's a wheelchair.
Jim.
Here they are, Dad.
Matched woods! Honey!
Happy Father's Day,
Oh,
dear.
you bought me a set of matched woods.
Well, we didn't exactly buy them, dear.
Mommy won the egg race.
Coffee, dear?
Thank you very much.
Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra. In our cast were June Whitley as Margaret, Ted Donaldson, Rhoda Williams, Norma Jean Nilsson, Herb Vigran, Stanley Farrar, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. So until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Dragnet, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
June 14th, 1951, Father Knows Best on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Claudia, as it was originally broadcast June 14th, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Oh, what a weekend.
I'm exhausted.
You have to go into the office this morning.
I do.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought we might go back to breakfast after bed.
You mean vice versa?
Oh, so I do. I must be just as exhausted as you are.
Darling, why don't you get back in bed now?
Oh, I've gotten myself all dressed to be such a waste.
You are an old skinflint, you know it?
I know it. Besides, I can't let the Killians go without saying goodbye. Wouldn't be very hostessy of me.
Well, I'll say goodbye for you.
That's not the same thing. Sorry.
Saying goodbye to your guest doesn't make you a good hostess. Personally, I think you fulfilled your duties to the brim.
Thank you, sir. Now button me up the back, please.
Buttoning you up the back seems to be one of my main duties as your husband.
You mind? Is it that difficult?
It's a pleasure to fulfill it, Mrs. Norton. Now, while I've got you here, clenched in my powerful hands...
Yes!
Let me tell you that you are a very fine hostess.
Oh, is that all?
You are the finest of the fine. Having Roger and Lelia and their young son wasn't easy with one maid.
And Mama, don't forget Mama.
Still, you were superb.
Oh, it was easy. I like the Killians. Besides, I asked for it.
You certainly did that.
Oh, don't think I wasn't scared after I invited Roger for the weekend. Especially since I didn't tell him his wife was here.
Only a nincompoop or a wise man would have dared do it.
Which am I?
I reserve judgment. I want to see the results. There. Your buttons are all buttoned.
Thanks. David.
What?
I'm not a little Miss Fix-It, am I? You scared me so.
Well, you've been trying to fix up the Killians, haven't you?
Well, that was different. They need fixing.
That makes it different.
Well, what I mean is you don't think I go around sticking my nose into other people's business where it doesn't belong, do you?
Well...
Don't say it. I hate being a busybody, and I know you'd hate being married to one.
I certainly would.
So please tell me I'm not one.
You're not one. One what?
Oh, you.
Darling, I think that what you've been trying to do for the Killians has been swell. I think if it works out, Jeffrey's going to be a very happy boy.
Poor kid, he was so alone, so lost. Till you understood him.
The only thing that matters with Jeffrey is that he never really had a home.
Do you think Roger and Leela will give him one now? What do you think they decided over the weekend? It was impossible to tell from watching him. They're so distant.
I don't know.
I won't ask them either, not even one question.
That'll be a strain.
I bet you think I can't do it.
I'm willing to be surprised.
David, are you hopeful for them? Asking you questions isn't part of the bet.
Well, frankly, I don't think that at rock bottom either Roger or Leela were meant for each other. If they hadn't had a son, it wouldn't have mattered so much, but unfortunately it did.
Must be awful not to be meant to be married. Rock bottom, I mean. So lonesome.
Probably even lonesomer than not being married at all.
We're meant, though, aren't we, darling?
We certainly are.
At the rockiest rock bottom?
The rockiest. We've got a pure, solid stone foundation.
Oh, David, I love you.
You do?
Yes. You know, seeing Roger and Leela together all weekend, married, and still so far apart, it just made me love you much more.
Me too.
Darling.
I have to make a train, remember?
Oh, you and your trains. Those trains are always interfering with our privacy.
That is the happy lot of the commuter.
And his missus.
So, Mrs., if you will kindly unwrap yourself for me.
You are unwrapped.
I'll re-wrap myself into my coat and we shall go down to breakfast.
I hope Mama has the sense to sleep late.
I made her promise to last night.
You're the only one who has any influence.
Oh, I'm a very influential guy.
The main reason I married you. You influenced me. Shh. Is there anybody?
Not a peep.
Not a Mama or a Killian in sight.
Hard to believe.
Gertrude must be here because... Hey, look, the table's set.
Well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't sit down and commence eating, do you?
None at all. Come in.
Oh, prunes again.
That's life. You have to take the bad with the good.
Prunes is bad.
There he is.
What is?
Oh, prunes. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, both. I've been outside, romping with your dog. It's a beautiful morning, and I am very rested.
Where's Leela and Jeffrey?
They'll be down. Now, what about prunes?
Eat them.
With pleasure.
Now, there's a man after my own heart.
Where are you going?
Into the kitchen, see what else there is for breakfast.
You're not fooling me. You're running away from 4 harmless little prunes.
Who says they're harmless?
That's my line.
Are you always like this, you two?
Like what, Roger?
Do you wake up feeling good every morning?
Nobody does.
I think you do. I wish I were 20 years younger.
You wouldn't appreciate it.
That's true. The pity is that one doesn't get born old and progress through life towards childhood to die in the cradle.
This is fine talk.
I mean it. It's a much better plan.
I'll speak to the authorities about it. Though, actually, children are the wisest.
Perhaps. Then in my case, life has uneducated me. It's gotten more complicated and distressing, and I have gotten more stupid with it yearly.
Say, I thought you felt rested this morning.
I do. And so I see everything very clearly. It's because of Claudia, too. She's remained wise, David. Wise as a guiltless child.
I think she's a pretty fine person, too.
Perhaps you could tell her for me. False pride, probably, that I can't do it myself. Tell her, thank you.
Thank her for what?
Well, it sounds so foolish in words, but Leela and I have decided to stop living our independent lives and to try and create a home for Jeffrey. He's got a whole life ahead of him. We can give him a few years of the rest of ours.
Claudia would tell you that you're not giving those years away, Roger. They're going to be yours.
We'll see. At any rate, it's settled.
That's what we hope.
What's going on? You haven't eaten one prune, either of you.
Oh, what careless oversight. Here I go. How delicious.
I brought in the bacon and eggs.
What's the matter with Gertrude?
She's busy popping the popovers. How many places do you want her to be in at one time?
You shouldn't be carrying heavy things.
Oh, what's heavy about a few eggs? 2 for you, for Roger, 1 for me.
Why only 1 for you?
Because I'm a girl.
A girl who is about to become a mother should not eat like a plain girl.
You mind your own business.
You hear how she talks to me, Roger?
Oh, I pity you.
Besides, I take my orders from Dr. Rowland, not from you.
I'm only your husband, of course.
That's all.
Whatever Claudia says, I'm on her side.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late for breakfast. You're not late, Leela. We're early.
Tact personified.
I just want some coffee.
I won't even try to coax you tomorrow, Leela.
Say, you're a very special person around here, Leela. Roger and I don't get coaxed. We get forced.
Bodily.
You've got to be forced, you men.
There's such prejudice here against my sex. I think I'll go and get in the car and take it out of the garage.
But the popovers!
Let them pop.
We must stand together, David.
Together.
Let them pop, Claudia. I'm going up to pack.
Oh, I hate you both.
Be down in a minute.
We've got only a half hour till train time, Roger.
I'll be with you, and I think my son is going to need some pudding.
It's the same thing every morning. Rush, 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 rush.
But it seems to agree with you and David.
I wouldn't want it any other way. Except for the rushing.
Even that's all right. When it's the two of you in the same direction.
You sure you won't have anything but coffee? Oh, don't say it. I forgot. No coaxing. Sorry.
All right. I'll have a piece of toast.
My, that was easy.
You know, I really hate to go back into town this morning.
I don't blame you. I'd hate it myself.
Maybe if Roger and I had started out like this, on a farm of our own.
Didn't you know? It was Roger's idea that we should.
I'm glad somebody's benefited from our mistakes. Though I dare say you'd have managed pretty well without advice.
Advice from a friend like Roger is very good to have. I'm glad we took it.
I envy you, Claudia. You've kept your life so simple.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm too much of a coward about life to let it get complicated.
That's not cowardice. That's sense.
Besides, David wouldn't let me.
You're a funny child.
Only I'm not a child.
You're not a child, in some ways. And because of those ways, it looks as if I'm going to spend a summer dabbling in marriage instead of in politics.
Marriage can't be dabbled in, Leela.
Why, I didn't mean it the way it sounded.
I think it's a lot more complicated than politics. Lots more fun, too. And the rewards are much, much deeper.
Maybe they are. I'll try to find out.
I'm so glad you've decided.
You decided for me.
I did.
When you sheltered my son and brought my husband up here.
If I were you and you were me, I think I'd hate me for butting in.
I'm just as surprised as you are that I don't. At any rate, we're going to give it a try.
Well, the car's purring happily in the driveway. Where are all the Killians?
The men are still upstairs. I'll go see what's keeping them.
Roger and Jeffrey probably swapping tall tales about trout fishing.
Those two are so much alike. If I don't watch my step, I'll be left out.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you find out what you wanted to know?
Is that why you left us alone? I could have killed you.
Now, take the murder out of your eye and tell me everything.
Nosy. I'll have you know I didn't ask one question.
My, oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Congratulations.
Well, I should think you would congratulate me. David, I am embarrassed. I am a Miss Fix-It.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations even more.
Darling, it's worthwhile because Leela and Roger are going to try and make it go again. It's exciting, isn't it?
I hope so.
Even if it's not forever, it's for Jeffrey. That's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's a remark to go down in the books. It's a very unfathomable remark.
Well, I'm a very unfathomable girl.
That you are.
You admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Oh, yes, Roger said to tell you thank you.
What for heaven's sake?
For everything. For the weekend, for Leela, for
Then
Jeffrey.
you knew, too, all the time that they decided to get together, and you never told me. You
I didn't ask one question, not one single question. As a matter of fact, Roger just walked right up to me and told me.
Oh, it's not fair. I never can know anything that you don't know. Makes me furious.
Little Miss Fix-It.
Don't you dare call me that.
Why not? You called yourself that just a half hour ago. I heard you say it, just as plain as you could speak. David, am I a little Miss Fix-It?
Well, you said I wasn't. Anyway, it's one thing for me to call myself something, and it's quite another thing for you to call myself something.
Then it's all right if I call you darling.
Oh, David, you call me darling. It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Dum dum da dum dum. La 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 la.
When you're downtown and stop at a fountain or tea room at noon, I'm sure you often join the men and girls who regularly order ice-cold Coca-Cola with their luncheon sandwich or salad. Why not have Coke when you lunch at home? It's so simple, and Coke goes good with any food. Even leftovers taste better when they're accompanied by delicious Coca-Cola. And the afternoon duties are somehow more easily accomplished when you lunch refreshed.
Hi there, Joe.
David, how be you?
I be fine, though a little ragged around the edges.
I should think you would be, David. It must have been quite a weekend.
Oh, it was. But who cares? It all turned out fine.
And that's what was really important. But now the most important thing is for you to see that Claudia takes it easy again.
Well, she's made up her mind to it, and I certainly hope that nothing comes up to change it.
Well, I think it's not going to be as simple as it sounds.
Hmm? What do you mean?
Well, I have an idea that Claudia's going to try to wangle another trip into New York tomorrow.
A trip into New York? Oh, no.
All because of an innocent little cable, and you'd better be alert to it, David.
I will be. See you tomorrow, Joe.
All right. Goodbye, David. As I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere.
From June 14th, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you please thank this station, support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around. Our shows are also available anywhere podcasts are served, including Spotify and Spreaker. You can also find them at Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. Anywhere, search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Or you can also go to classicradio.stream, find all that information there, contact us, and you can also buy me a coffee if you like. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.